What'd you do? Kick me out?
Kicked you out.
Apparently I did somehow. I don't know how I did it, but hey, you're back. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Two Uncles in a Jar. I'm Uncle Moonshine.
I'm Uncle Joey.
We're live, and the jar is already open.
My bad. I'm trying to figure out what we got live here.
Today we got Florida Craftsman Jeremy Craig from Copper Bottom Distillery in Holly Hill, Florida. And we're taking a silver rum for a proper taste run. But before we do, I want to start this jar off with the very first episode of the Traveling Moonshiner. Bear with me. This EV Mux is killing me.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it used to be. Let me see here.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It sounded like it was a good thing when we first started talking about it.
Yeah.
And then we're getting switched over. I'm not real sure it's the right platform for us, man.
I'm not a fan of it. In fact, I wish I could get rid of it. Now that I've spent the money, I hate to. I got to.
Right.
I'll go back. Bear with me though.
Yeah.
I got this thing somewhere. Here we go. There we go. I'll get there. Crap. God damn it. This is not fun. This is not fun.
Come to you today for this issue of Traveling Moonshiner.
I'll start it again.
Sounds like it's good.
I'm about to say, it sounds really good.
Sounds great, Mark.
Well, yeah, I'm working on it. Dadgummit. Let me see here. I know I can share it. I've done it before. There we go. There we go. Finally. Maybe. I'll bring it on stage, Mark. There we go. I got it.
There it is.
Hey everybody, Uncle Moonshine here. Come to you today for this issue of the Traveling Moonshiner. Today, we're headed out to Holly Hill, Florida, to go see Jeremy Craig and talk about this thing. Looking forward to this little visit, and see you soon. Shine on.
We don't typically use small barrels for our process. We use full size. We've been doing vertical glasses. We're all grass over there. And as far as vertical glasses, we get to right there. So everybody, we wait and trade them on for them. How many gallons? Those are 5 there. These are 10s, those are 5.
It's only 5 gallons?
Yep, those are 5s.
So how long does it take from,
I don't know. We haven't really done it yet. Like I said,
I'll say if I can do one this weekend to come back to Florida.
Probably won't be ready. 5 days pretty much. 2 days pretty good. Yeah, 6 months.
They had a great time visiting with Jeremy Craig and talking about great guy, super guy. Can't wait to hook up with him again soon. Check you guys out later. Shine on. Until the next time on the Traveling Moonshiner. See you later.
That was different. A little short and sweet, but hey,
No, that's cool.
Yeah. Wasn't quite what I wanted. I know you were busy. You had some things going on. You and your wife had a event. You had a wedding to go to, right?
Yeah, my brother-in-law got married that week. Yeah, that weekend you were here. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah. First of all, Jeremy, thanks for joining us, brother.
No, of course, man. I'm glad to be here. This is great.
For folks that who may not know you yet, who's Jeremy Craig, and what's the story behind Copper Bottom Distillery?
All right. Well, like you said, I'm Jeremy. I'm the head distiller here at Copper Bottom Distillery. One of the owners as well. It's a family business. It's me, my wife, and my parents. We started up, this year's our 10th year now. We opened up in October 2016, so we're gonna have a big 10-year bash coming up in October.
Make it to that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So we got into this. I actually have a chemistry and biology background. I went to school to be a chiropractor and decided I didn't want to be a chiropractor. But my whole family was actually in the beer industry. My dad worked over 20 years for Pabst, Schlitz, and Stroh's. Both of my grandfathers on both sides actually retired from Schlitz. I had uncles that worked there, so my whole family was in beer. And I homebrewed for a long time, and at one point we actually talked about opening a brewery, but I mean, as everybody knows, there's a brewery on just about every corner. So we figured, you know what, we got to do something else. And as this is probably, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, we were up in Vermont visiting some family, and we stopped in at a local craft brewery, and right across the street they had just opened up. Actually, I don't even think they were open yet, but they were. I was looking through the window, and the guy happened to be there, and it was a small little craft distillery. And I'd been on the bourbon trail and done all the big stuff. I didn't even know it was possible to do it on a small scale. So we walked out and looked at each other, and literally we all had the idea at the same time, like, we got to do this. So like I said, that was 14, 15 years ago or so, and we kind of haven't looked back. It's been a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
And you know, in my opinion, and I've drank quite a bit of bourbon in my time, and I have to say that I've really leaned towards right now these small craft distilleries, man. They're making some good shit. You know what I mean? There's a lot to be said about small craft distilleries, man. There's a lot of hard work and love goes into what they do.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's taken a little bit of time, because 10 years ago when we opened, and I still do to this day. Anytime we go somewhere, I go and tour as many little places as we can, because the way I look at it, we're all in this together. I just kind of like to introduce people and introduce myself and meet as many people as I can in the industry. Yeah. And I'll say, 8, 9, 10 years ago, it wasn't as good. But, it takes time. This stuff's got to age out, and it doesn't get good overnight. I mean, hell, these guys, these big guys up in Kentucky, they've been doing it 100 years. And, we don't have that much time under our belts. So, it's taken a little bit of time for it to get good, but it's getting there. It's definitely coming around. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you're talking about breweries popping up left and right. They're everywhere. It's starting to become the same thing with these small craft distilleries.
They are. I'll say this, though. I don't think there'll ever be as many small distilleries as there are breweries, mostly because of the capital to start one of these things. I mean, you really do have to start with much bigger equipment than you do in a brewery. I mean, just the distillation process itself, you got to have a big volume to start with to actually get anything out of it, to do it on a commercial level. And you don't have that same issue with beer. You have 300 gallons of beer, you got 300 gallons of beer. You got 300 gallons of mash to run, you've got maybe 30. So it's a big difference. You got to start with much bigger equipment. So
yeah, the amount of ingredients it takes to go into the mash to get a smaller yield, you got to really, there's a different balance. But at the same time, it holds true in the bourbon world right now. There's a lot of them that aren't really making it, but those are the ones that aren't really making that good of a product. Same thing in the beer world. There were a lot of beer, there's a lot of breweries out there. They've kind of slowed down, but the good beer is still out there.
Oh, it is.
But there is so much of it. There really is.
And I said that, I mean, the days of opening a distillery and, if you build it, they will come kind of thing are long, long over. Right. And it's even further long over for breweries. I mean, a brewery, you better open up, and you better have something good right now, because that runway that you used to have to be able to come up with something good is short, to say the least. So you got to be good right now, and if you're not, you know, there's 10 other good breweries in your area already. So, and it's the same with distilling. I mean, you know, there's, like you said, they're starting to pop up left and right, and you know, inherently we're a little bit more expensive typically because, you know, we don't have the economy of scale that these big guys do. So at the end of the day, I mean, you better come up with a good product right away, otherwise who's going to buy it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Where you can get a really cheap bottle of rum, or you can buy a little not so cheap bottle, but man, the quality of that bottle is probably 3 or 4 times what you're buying that other cheap bottle for. So it's like, you know, you get what you pay for in that industry.
Yeah.
It holds true, man. You really do.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll tell you, that's part of the reason. Well, actually, that's one of the biggest reasons we decided to do rum. I mean, everybody's doing bourbon and whiskey right now. That's great, and I love bourbon and whiskey myself. I drink it all the time. But at the end of the day, I feel like rum is a very underappreciated category. I mean, and on top of that, you go to the liquor store right now, there's a giant wall full of bourbon, and most of them are pretty good, or at least decent.
Yeah.
You go to that same liquor store, the wall of rum, most of it's pretty terrible. And I knew that we could make, you know, bigger inroads in the rum category than we ever could in the bourbon or whiskey category. So that's part of the reason. And the other thing is, when's the last time anybody ever really was seeking out a Florida bourbon? It just doesn't even sound right.
Exactly.
Florida rum sounds like it's meant to be, but man, Florida bourbon. Not to say you can't make good bourbon in Florida, because you can, no doubt about it. But it doesn't have that same sound and feel that Florida rum does, you know.
You're aging. It's all about that aging season you guys have. You know that there's not enough cold and too much hot for bourbon to age correctly where you're at. I could see maybe smaller barrels, very short time, but not in a big barrel, in my opinion. But yeah, I agree. A good Florida rum, that's what you want. You want to be known for making a good Florida rum.
Right. That's exactly right, and that's what we're striving to do every day. Make it a little better every day.
Well, that means.
And I've noticed there's a lot more flavored rums and flavored vodkas out there than I've ever seen, and you don't have to even make good liquor to flavor it. So, you know, God knows the quality level that they've taken a dive on, because it doesn't matter. You're flavoring it really doesn't matter. It's got to be decent tasting, but it doesn't have to be perfect like what you would want to just sell in just a regular straight bottle of a clear spirit.
No, that's absolutely true. And to be real fair, I mean, most of your flavored products, the vast majority of them, they're just buying in a bulk spirit because, like you said, it doesn't matter. So they're buying in a cheaper bulk spirit and then flavoring it from there. Honestly, that's why we don't touch flavored products at all. Because at the end of the day, I mean, again, I'll go back to the liquor store analogy. You go to the liquor store, the cheapest thing on the shelf is flavored rum and flavored vodka. Mm-hmm. I can't compete at those price points, nor do I want to try. Right. So my philosophy is we have to make a better rum. I just can't make another rum. I got to make a better one.
Well, that being said, Jeremy, walk us through your philosophy when it comes to making rum. Florida's known for its sugar cane. How does using Florida sugar cane shape the flavor of your identity of your rum?
So I wanted to use as local ingredients as possible. Now, to be completely transparent, we don't use all Florida sugar cane. Okay. We use kind of a blend of different types of sugar cane. But one thing that we do that's a little bit different is we don't use molasses. We use kind of a raw, unrefined cane. More unrefined than turbinado. It's more like a panela, more of a completely unrefined type of a sugar cane. It's a lot greener, gives it a little bit more of that earthy note to it. You pull out some more of those caramels and vanilla notes and stuff like that. Not so much of that dark, almost burnt caramel type notes, which are great in rum. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. Our philosophy is we just wanted, if we were going to sell it, we wanted to make it, first of all. So whether it's our vodka or any of our rums, we make them all in-house. And I wanted to make a good aged product because, like you said earlier, you like bourbon, I like bourbon, and I like whiskeys too. So all of our darker rums are all barrel aged. There's no additives whatsoever. So every one of our dark rums is aged minimum 4 years in a one-choose bourbon barrel. So it's going to drink a lot like a whiskey because we don't add any sugar to it and no additives whatsoever. So a lot of those same characteristics that people like in scotches and bourbons and just whiskeys in general come out in those rums. And a lot of times I'll give somebody a sample of something just completely out of context and just say, here, try this. Tell me what you think. And first thing is, what kind of whiskey is this? Is this what is this? And a lot of times it's hard for them to even pick out that it's rum. But when I tell them, you can usually pick out the little sweet notes and that little, little difference once they know what it is. But right up front, it kind of changes a little bit, because people see a dark rum, first thing that comes to mind is Captain Morgan, and that's far from what we do.
Right.
And
So,
and I don't mean to offend anybody if I do here. And from what I've tasted, that's far from good spiced rum too.
oh yeah.
No, and listen, I think the way I look at it, there's a time and a place for everything. If that's
You're right,
what you
yes.
like, you should
Yeah.
100% drink it.
Yeah.
I don't knock it in any way, but like I said, that's just not our style of rum, and not what we want to be known for. I look at it, Buffalo Trace, well, that's a bad example because they do make Fireball, but or Sazerac in general does. But you know what I mean? A good, it's under a completely different label and a completely different everything. So the Maker's Mark doesn't make a peanut butter whiskey, so that's the same kind of thing.
And there's a reason for that, yeah.
Right.
So, what's one thing about, or how do I want to word this? What's one thing most people misunderstand about rum, and what's the hardest part of producing a clean, high-quality silver rum like this?
Yeah, so I think the big misconception of rum is that it's super sweet and super high in sugar. And that misconception is not really a misconception in most cases, because they are. But that's not because inherently rum has sugar. Yes, it's made from sugar cane or molasses or something like that, but by the time it's fermented and distilled, there's no sugar left. So if it's sweet, it's only because they're adding it back to it. So that's one misconception. Is I get people that come in all the time, because a lot of people are very health conscious, so they're looking for that, low carb. I don't want anything. I want vodka. Right. That's all I want. Well, a silver rum, or even our aged rums, you're not going to have a sugar content like that, because we don't add sugar to them. People think because it's made from sugar cane, it's got to have a lot of sugar. Well, it doesn't. But that also, going to your next question, is inherently what makes it difficult to make a good, easy to drink rum. Is it's one ingredient. One ingredient, and inherently the ingredient can be very, very harsh. I mean, I'm sure you guys have distilled, molasses, sugar cane, whatever. It takes work. It's not something that a lot of distilleries I see will want to produce a rum because it's easy. No, it's easy to make things with a lot of different grains and a lot of flavors. Yeah, it might take a little longer, but using that one ingredient and actually getting flavor out of it, that's the hard part. And it's even other distillers sometimes will be like, oh, you make rum, that's easy. Yeah, try to make rum the same way. It's not as easy as it looks.
We also
make a rum that you can just drink out of the bottle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make a rum that you don't have to put it in a cocktail in order to be able to drink it. Yeah, right. There's a certain level of that, absolutely.
We all talk about it all the time. We all distillers, home distillers, yada yada, hobby distillers. And yeah, we can all distill, but is it going to be good?
Yeah. No, and I mean that's true. And it's just work, right? It's just work and patience. Right. That's the one thing I've run into most of the time with, the hobbyists and home distillers and stuff like that is, it's just everybody wants it done now. And listen, I get it, I do too. Unfortunately, you just can't rush it. It's an all-day process, and that's just, or not all day, shit, it's work. It's years sometimes, and it's a process, and you can't rush it.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. And I say it all the time, low and slow, and there's a meaning behind that. I take my time. I run low, slow, and just take my time. I'm running mistakes all the time. I crashed on a mash today. The pH dropped on it. You know what? You just learn from it and move on. You make corrections.
So on your aged rum, is it a different mash bill than your other rums, or you just make one rum and you do different things with it? Is there a different process you would use because of the barrel aging, that you want to use a different yeast or maybe a little more sugar? You know what I mean? Is there a different process in the rum you're gonna put in a barrel?
No, that's actually a great question. Most people don't think about that. Most people just assume that I put the silver rum in a barrel and just let it sit. I actually don't at all. it's the same mash bill. So it's the same amount of sugar cane, same yeast even. The biggest difference for me is the distillation. So we do a lower distillation. We go at about 160 or so proof on the distillation of the barrel aged rum, where I'll go a little higher on the silver rum because it's going straight into a bottle. I want to make that thing as clean as possible, whereas the barrel aged rums, I intentionally want to leave some of those heads and tails in there because those, even though they're off alcohols, that's going to give you some of those beneficial flavors from the barrel that you're just not going to get with a super clean spirit. So I want to make it as clean as possible. It's going straight into a bottle, still flavorful, but clean as possible. The stuff that's going into a barrel, I intentionally leave a little bit dirtier up front because I know it's going to sit in a barrel for 4 years minimum, and that stuff's going to have time to dissipate.
So when you
now, will you do like a stripping run and then rerun it, or just a one and done on the barrel aged stuff?
So I'm a one and done guy. Like I have a 300-gallon pot still, and I have 2 offset fractional distillation columns. So we'll use the 4-plate column for the barrel aged stuff. Actually, I use that for all of them, but I run it with just a couple of plates for the barrel aged stuff. I run it all 4 plates and a little bit slower on the silver rum. But I do it once because commercially, if I was doing this at home or just doing this if I had a little different way of doing it, I guess maybe, or had more time, I would maybe do it in 2 runs. But that's the great thing about the small fractional columns is I could do it in 1 run as opposed to having to take 2 or 3 runs to really clean it up the way I want.
So your plates in and let it rip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really cleans it up too. So it's yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to go too far on it because obviously you want to retain a bunch of flavor on both of them, but at the same time you can still retain a lot of flavor even on those small 4-plate columns. Now, is it quite as much as a pot distillation? No, but commercially there's a trade-off, right? It's just like going back to the bourbon scenario. It's just like the big guys there. Would they rather use a pot still to make their bourbon? Yeah, probably. But they're using giant continuous columns because they have to keep up with demand. So, I'm not that popular yet, but at the same time, I'm popular enough that I can't just use a pot still every day. So that's the trade-off. You have to sometimes trade off a little bit just for the efficiency of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for sharing that, Jeremy. I want to take a minute and catch up on these comments. We got viewers watching. They have comments. They have questions. So I want to catch up on those real quick. Lisa Day is in the house. Hey, Lisa.
Lisa, how we doing?
And Kitty Taylor says, how's everyone doing? Lisa, hey, Jeremy, big hugs to your wife.
Lisa's awesome.
Yeah, she loves your wife. She talks about your wife a lot. Had the pleasure of meeting Jeremy. This is Kitty Taylor talking. I had the pleasure of meeting Jeremy and visiting his distillery.
Yeah.
Kenny's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, definitely.
Marie Jess says, evening, everyone. Daniel Stevens.
Daniel Stevens. Everybody knows that guy.
And then there it goes. The whole party.
That guy gets around.
Yeah.
So
I really appreciate the smell on this rum, dude. It's got such a nice. It's not sweet, but it just has a very nice smell to it, man.
It's more, you know what it is? Because I agree with, and actually it has kind of a sweet taste, even though there's no sugar in it. It's more of a perception of sweetness than an actual sweetness, if that makes sense. So the flavors that you're tasting, your brain knows that those are supposed to be sweet, so it's more of a perception of sweetness than an actual sweetness.
Let's get to that in a minute. I want to get caught up on these comments real quick. I don't want to leave these viewers out.
Keep them going.
Let's see, Daniel Steven, he's so smart. O'Sheen Smith.
Daniel's my hero, man. I look up to him, like anybody else.
Says that about everybody else. O'Sheen Smith, are you the rum company that does sea salt the barrels? No.
No.
No, that's Key West, right?
That's Key West First Legal Distillery. They do a good job down there too. Those guys are great. They do a really good job down there.
That could be one of my next visits.
Yeah, no, and his name escapes me right now, but
I can't think of it either.
Yeah, he super good people down there. That's one of the distilleries I highly recommend to anybody going down that way.
Yeah, here you go.
You watch him, he rolls the barrel out and he rolls it right down in the ocean and he just drops it down in and rolls it back out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have as good a hair as he does, so no, that's not me.
Nobody does. Nobody does. I
No.
think Mark might. No,
No.
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 Damn. Damn.
I'm
I'm
trying to make a
cola
flavor.
flavored rum. Oh wow.
What's this?
Different flavor. I don't want
Somebody, O'Sheen Smith. I'm trying to make a cola flavored rum. Do you have any tips for flavor? That's interesting.
I don't want to post flavor. Okay, so that's, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a hard one for me because commercially I have to post flavor because if I add anything else to that sugar cane in the mash, it's not rum anymore. So for me,
yeah.
I have to do it post distillation. So I don't really mess with that very often, to be very honest with you. I don't want to give you some information that's just BS. But so on my side of the world, unfortunately, I have to do everything post distillation when it comes to rum because if I add any kind of cola or strawberry or spices or anything like that to the mash itself, it's not rum anymore. So I can't do that.
Let me ask
Real
you
quick,
this.
how does that work? What does that become? Is it just a spirit? Is it a shine? What
It
is
depends
that?
on what it is. I mean, if it depends on what it is I'm adding. A lot of times it just becomes a distilled specialty spirit, which that's kind of a problem too because
Yeah.
where do you put that on a shelf? And it usually goes back in the land of misfit spirits in the back of the store, you know what I mean? And nobody knows what it is, and it's hard to market something like that. So I really appreciate what you're trying to do because I think that's a great idea.
Let me ask
And
this.
that's probably something that, you know, one of those things that I could play with if I ever have time to do this just for myself. It'd be great to play with a little bit. But yeah, unfortunately, on the commercial side, it's tough for us to do those kind of, you know, pre-distillation type flavors because if it's not 100% sugarcane in the mash, it's not rum anymore. And then what do you call it? And it really, it really just depends on what I'm adding as what I could call it.
So let me ask this then, because I think O'Shea's doing a home or hobby distillery or whatever.
Yeah.
So with me, when I do my clear root beer, what if he did it is like a gin basket, kind of like what I do? I use the jar thumpers, put a syrup in there, and then did it that way.
So that's honestly what I would, if I was doing it, just experimenting with it, not having done it myself, that's probably what I would start with, is some kind of a gin basket type of a thing. I would use definitely some of those spices that you kind of taste in cola, right? You get some little cinnamon and vanilla. You know, a lot of colas are heavy in vanilla and stuff like that. I would use some of those same kind of spices in either jars or a thumper or something like that, just to try it out and see where, like you said, a syrup, something like that. And I think you can come up with the flavor you're looking for. But it's going to take some experimentation, unfortunately, because, you know, I don't have the silver bullet on that one, that's for sure.
Well, that's exactly what I did. I took all the herbs and stuff that go into root beer, and I made a simple syrup out of it, and I put it in my jar thumper. Come out, I got 100 proof clear root beer.
Nice. See, that actually sounds delicious. And see, that's the kind of stuff that.
I'll bring you some.
Yeah, honestly, I would love that. Honestly, that's the kind of stuff that I wish we could do on the commercial side. Right. And not to say that we can't, but again, you know, we are within some constraints on what we can do and because we want to be able to call things certain things. It makes it difficult on the marketing and on the legal side on what we can actually do. So I think that's I love that idea, and I actually love that root beer moonshine. I'd love to try some, honestly, but it's one of those things that on the commercial side is more difficult for us to do.
Kenny Taylor says
that would be something more you really would have a hard time like you said, where would you find to put it on a shelf? But if you sold bottles out of your place or you had maybe a little special run, that would be, if you had that licensing, that would be where you could maybe sell something like that. Like, hey, we did a special one-time run. We can't call it rum, but we're doing this. So that's a whole different angle you have to probably take.
And that is some of the stuff that we are, you know, currently working on, some super small batch stuff. I mean, you saw it when you were here. I have tons of small barrels sitting over here. So we're going to start doing some interesting, you know, barrel finishes and some really cool barrel aging type stuff, just in super small batches that are only going to be available here. We'll probably do like experimental labels on them because it's not even going to be something that's going to be available widely in the market.
So yeah, Kenny Taylor, he made the comment earlier that he was there visiting. Now he's saying, I can say everything I tasted was good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That.
Where are you at in Florida again?
We're in Holly Hill, which is, nobody knows where Holly Hill is. It's actually Daytona Beach. So literally across the street in both directions from us is Daytona Beach. Holly Hill's a small little town. It's I think it's 3.5 square miles total. But it's 125 years old this year, so it's an old town, but it's just super small and nobody knows Holly Hill. So I always say Daytona because that's the town literally across the street from us.
Yeah, you go across the bridge.
Yep.
So when you got started, I know yeast is a big thing when it comes to fermentation. Did you already know what kind of yeast, or did that take a process of playing? Or
that was a process. So yeah, before we started, I did a lot of experimentation, and I knew the raw ingredients I wanted to use. So I brought in that, and I brought in 25 or so different strains of yeast, kind of looking. I knew the flavor profile I was looking for. You just had to kind of figure out how to get there. So I did the exact same, and this is one thing that I'm sure a lot of these guys know, but a lot of new distillers don't. The yeast is by far the most important part. I mean, I brought in 25 plus different strains and did the exact same mash, the exact same distillation. You'd be shocked at how drastically different some of these turned out. And so I basically did as many as I could to find the flavor profile that I knew that I was looking for. I knew I had an idea what I wanted. It was just a matter of finding the yeast to get me there.
Cool.
Yeah.
And now I just keep that yeast propagating. I just keep propagating that yeast over and over again.
Yeast
so now at this point it's basically a house yeast because I've messed with it so much. It's basically a house yeast now.
I was going to say
yeast is a rabbit hole as a distiller that I haven't even began to go down. I mean, my boys tell me, look, this is what we use this, you like this, but they've very made it clear. Experiment,
Oh yeah.
This is what we use to make our liquor. If you like the way our liquor tastes, this is what we use. But by all means, Big Easy, Sean, Phil, they've all said, please experiment with yeast because it brings out a lot of different flavors, man. It really does.
It does. Now, one thing I don't do that I see other distillers doing, I don't combine different strains of yeast. I've seen people doing that. I don't like competing yeast strains. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Sometimes it stresses yeast as well when you have a couple different yeast strains that are competing next or against each other. And I don't like the idea of possibly stressing yeast because that's where you'll get some of your off flavors and more of your off alcohol. So for me, I try to stick with a strain of yeast as opposed to blending different yeast together because I know a lot of people have done that. It just, I don't know, it's scientifically and just kind of thinking about it in my peon brain here doesn't. I don't know. I don't like the competing yeast strains.
Yeah,
sometimes simple is easy.
A lot of times
works
what
well.
they'll do is that, like you said, Jeremy, they'll compete, and then you'll get stress, and then you'll get those off flavors, and it'll go south real quick.
And you might find a combination that's absolutely great.
Right.
But at the same time, you might not. And that's the hard part.
Ask the question, so is rum strictly made from cane sugar or cane sugar byproduct?
Any sugarcane byproduct. So molasses, sugarcane juice, any turbinado, demerara, any of your white table sugar if you want. But any sugarcane byproduct, you can call it rum. Now I've seen some distillers that are trying to use sorghum and maple and some other things. Somehow or another they've gotten away with it for now, but it's letter of the law. It's not rum unless it's 100% sugarcane.
And this comes up a lot, Jeremy. I've talked to a lot of distilleries, and this argument comes up a lot. If it's got sugar in it, it's rum.
Yeah. Well, so yes and no, because if it's sugar and grain, it's still not rum. Well, it's I agree with you. It's not whiskey either. That's where it kind of falls into that specialty spirit category, right? It's definitely not rum because at the end of the day, it has to be 100%. Right. So if you're adding sugar to a grain base, well, I agree with you. It's not bourbon, or maybe not a whiskey, maybe the type of whiskey you're going for. but it's not rum either. So that's where it kind of falls into that weird category, that specialty spirit category.
Yeah. You know what? That being said, dude, I'm ready for a shot.
Craig,
Come on,
ready?
let's go.
I got no glass, man. I got to drink from the bottle.
You don't need a glass. There's a bottle there.
Well, you know,
It's glass. The bottle is glass.
what I want to do is, Jeremy, before we taste it, what should people expect on the nose? What aromas are you most proud of?
So I'll tell you on that one, the silver rum specifically, people get one of two things typically. People either get banana or butterscotch. And it's usually one or the other. The crazy thing is, I actually smell more banana. I taste more butterscotch myself. But I taste all of it. I get vanilla, I get butterscotch, I get banana.
I get a vanilla on the nose.
Yeah, I get vanilla on the nose as well.
And I think that probably it's that sugar cane. It's that smoothness of that, little bit of that, I don't know.
It's the cane. It is partially the cane, but going back to what we were just talking about, honestly, it's mostly the yeast. The same sugar cane that we use for this, I use different yeast with, and I didn't get that smell at all, or that taste even. So, yes, the sugar cane makes a difference, but to be real honest, it's the yeast that's the biggest factor.
I wish I had a Glen, because I almost feel like I get a little bit of an earthy note to this.
Yeah?
Yeah, you will, because it's about, so the way I like to kind of describe rum is, and this was taught to me years ago, it's like two goalposts. You have blackstrap molasses on one side, and you have raw sugarcane juice on another. When you taste those, they're very, very different. The raw sugarcane juice is super earthy and grassy and all that. The molasses is going to be more of a heavier, darker, caramelly type note. Ours is going to be more towards that raw juice side. It's about as unrefined as you can get without being raw juice. So it's going to have a lot of those earthy notes, but not as heavy as the earthy notes as a true agricole rum with just cane juice.
Uncle Joey's talking about what he's smelling on his nose. Hell, his nose is so burnt from sniffing jars, he can't smell nothing.
No, man. See, I'm a blue corn. I like that style of smell, and I kind of get that earthy note from that. I didn't get it at first. I was sitting there getting all this vanilla, and I switched hands. I don't know what happened. I tipped the bottle up, and it hit me. I was like, man, that's a grassy, very earthy note to that, man. And it's smooth. It's a good drinker, man. It really is.
No, that's a good pickup, because a lot of people don't pick that up. Because it is a little bit more subtle on our rum, mostly because I try to clean it up. Look, at the end of the day, the vast majority of people, especially in America, are very used to Puerto Rican style rums, right?
Yeah,
very neutral, almost to the vodka realm of the rum world. So you don't, at the end of the day, I still have to sell the stuff. So I wanted it to be clean and drinkable and mixable, but I also wanted to have a lot of flavor. And there's a real balance there. To have a lot of flavor but still be smooth and drinkable in rum is a little bit more difficult.
So with that being said, what gives this rum its signature finish? I think I already know the answer, because you said the yeast has a big part of it. But at the same time, in 3 words, what would they be? What would you describe it to be in 3 words?
The finish?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd say creamy, buttery. Creamy buttery is what I typically tell people. I'm trying to think of what else I could say about it. Clean. There you go. Clean, creamy, buttery.
That's really smooth too for a rum. It's really good.
It is why, like you said earlier, it does have you get a little sweetness on the nose, but there's not a sweetness there.
No.
But there is. Essentially, there is a tiny bit of sweetness there.
It's a drier finish on it. It doesn't stick to you, but it's got that creamy, buttery kind of a note, but it doesn't stick on your side of your mouth like a lot of the sugary, rums do.
Yeah, it's all on the tongue.
Yeah. It's still drier. When you actually taste it, it's still a dry rum.
Yeah.
But you get the perception of sweetness.
So,
Absolutely.
what would be your favorite way to drink this rum? I mean, as far as a cocktail, You know, a lot of us, we're getting into the newer generation. We have all these flavored cocktails, all these flavored moonshine, different drinks that are all flavored. So what would you recommend how to drink this silver rum?
So I'll tell you, I'll tell you the way I drink it and the way I tell people a great way to drink it. I drink it this way occasionally, but my favorite way to drink it, honestly, is a glass of ice and a slice of lime.
I'm not gonna judge you if you say straight for the bottle.
I'm telling you, I do like it cold. So what I'll do, especially on a hot day, sitting by the pool, I'm not drinking a 8-year-old barrel-aged rum. I'm drinking an ice cold silver rum with a little bit of lime in it. Now, having said that, it really makes a great mojito as well.
Oh wow, yeah.
Man, you throw a little mint, little lime, little sugar in there, and it really pops. It makes a great mojito. But honestly, if I do anything to it, it's usually just on ice, lime, and if I want to dilute it a little bit, it's just a little club soda just to give a little fizz. That's it.
You brought up mojito. You brought up mojito earlier today. I was watching a video from your Friday Facebook. You and your wife.
Yeah.
You were talking about you're growing a lot of mint. There you go.
Man, I'm trying. Man, I'm a better distiller than I am a gardener. I can tell you that right now.
You know, I got 2 degrees in horticulture. I can help you out on that area.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's funny because everybody I talk to keeps saying, man, you put mint in your garden, it's going to take over everything. It's going to go nuts. I have not had that issue. I can't hardly keep the stuff alive. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Well,
I've got to have it in the wrong spot or something. But, man, I've changed it a little bit this time, and it seems to be doing a little better. We'll see what happens.
let me tell you this. It's a lot like making spirits. It's a lot of all the pH, buddy.
Okay.
pH in your soil. Check it out.
You know what? I've never looked. So that's probably what I need to do. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm curious what this bottle would taste like maybe after sat in the refrigerator. How it, certain bottles kind of it changes the flavor just a tiny bit.
Yep.
Wonder if it would bring anything else out. I wouldn't say put it in the freezer because that would maybe change it too much, but just a cold bottle of this. I'm curious.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that is interesting that it does do. Any well-made spirit, if you add a drop of water or a little cube of ice, right? If people seen that with whiskeys, right? You drop one little drop of water in there.
Huge.
Believe it or not, that silver rum opens up just with a drop of water. Just like a good whiskey or something like that would. You'd be amazed at one little ice cube or a drop of water really does change that one quite a bit, and most people don't think to do that with a clear spirit, but let me tell you, a well-made clear spirit, it'll still do the same thing.
About a year ago, I went down to
grab a cube. I'll do
it. Do it.
About a year ago, I went down to Bartow, Florida, and I met up with Alfredo. We went to a bar there, and the bartender behind this bar was superb. He made his own bitters, the whole 9 yards. And I gave him a sample of my shine. He tried it. He says, I'm going to make it better. And he says, I'm going to make one simple little thing. He added 2 drops of water. He said, now try. I was like, oh my God.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yep. And honestly, sometimes it's just the proof. Yeah, sometimes it's just the proof. I mean, literally, some of the flavors are just kind of trapped. Some of them are a little bit more water soluble than alcohol soluble. So adding just 1 or 2 drops of water helps to release some of those flavors that are just trapped in the alcohol. So it is really amazing how much just adding a drop or 2 of water will change some of the. Now, some of them change it for the worse. Some of them change it for the better. So I tell everybody, try it neat first, and then put a drop or 2 of water, 1 ice cube or something in it, and see what it does. You may like it better that way. You may not, but try it. See what you think.
We talk about that a lot in the moonshine community. Is a lot of these guys, especially these new guys, when they start off, well, I want high proof. And personally, I used to do my shine at 110 proof. Once I proved it at 100 proof, man, that flavor came through and through.
Yep. Yeah, and that is kind of a misconception. I get people all the time that come in, they're like, oh, because we distill our vodka to 192 proof. That's really high. And everybody's like, oh, that's moonshine. I'm like, man, let me tell you, on a pot still, it's tough to get to 192 proof on a pot still. So everybody thinks that moonshine is some super high proof, like it's just typically a little higher than the 80 proof stuff that you're used to drinking. So they think it's so high proof, but honestly, you don't want that high proof, because you get that high proof, now you've lost all the flavor.
Yeah.
You want to retain some flavor, you can't get that high proof.
All you're getting is that Tarzan.
Getting ethanol. Nobody wants just straight ethanol.
I did a little bit of experimentation with a little bit of blueberries, and about 120, you get good flavor. That higher proof, yeah, 100 proof, you're still getting that good flavor. But
Yep.
yeah, you start getting that higher proof, and you don't taste much of the fruit. And it's same thing like anything else. All you're tasting is the alcohol. You're
Yep.
not tasting any of that sugar. You're just tasting, or not the sugar. You're not tasting the rum end of it. You're just
Yeah.
tasting the alcohol end of it. So.
Yep.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Joey.
So, what is your favorite product that you guys make to drink?
That's probably what I'm drinking right now. It's the our bottled and bond. We do a bottled and bond rum, which not a lot of places do. There's only a handful of rum distillers that I've seen that do a bottled and bond product. And for the people that don't know, it's one of the very first food safety acts in American history. It was the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it said you had to distill it in one distillery, by one distiller, one distilling season. It had to be aged a minimum 4 years in a federally bonded warehouse, and it has to be bottled at exactly 100 proof. There's a lot of bourbons and ryes and stuff that you'll see that are bonded. I've only seen a handful of bonded rums. This one in particular is just shy, actually it's right at or just shy of 8 years.
Wow.
In a one-choose bourbon barrel. And man, it's got some serious flavor to it. And this is one that if I handed it to you, you're like, man, that is a good whiskey, whatever it is, but it's not. You get a really, really nice rum flavor on it, but you get that nice barrel note also.
So I'm going to have to ask the question, and you don't have to answer me now. We can answer this off the live if you need to.
Yeah.
What bourbon barrels is that aged in? I need to know.
So that doesn't matter. So for us, we do, this one in particular was in a, let me think, that last release was in a Heaven Hill barrel. That was in a Heaven Hill barrel. So we typically get barrels from 5 different places. We typically get them from Heaven Hill, Woodford Reserve, Buffalo Trace, Four Roses, and Maker's Mark.
So now I have another question.
Yeah.
So which of those is your personal favorite to get barrels from?
So I have 2 personal favorites, and there's a couple reasons for that. One is Heaven Hill, which is the one I'm drinking. The other is Four Roses.
My favorite, man. I love
those are my favorite barrels. And I'll tell you, the Heaven Hill is probably my absolute favorite. And the reason for that is typically the barrels I get in from Heaven Hill are younger barrels. So the stuff I get in from Buffalo Trace, it's usually been 8 to 10 years the stuff's been sitting in there.
Yeah.
The stuff I get from Heaven Hill is typically 2 to 4 years old. So there's a lot more life in those barrels than there are in the Heaven Hill in the Woodford Buffalo Trace.
Those characteristics from that barrel, where a lot of that's gone and that's soaked up from those other 8 to 10 year barrels. Yeah.
Well, and that's the crazy thing. When I tell people that we have some in a Buffalo Trace barrel, they want that one, and I'm like, actually, you know what? You actually don't. It's not so much what was in the barrel; it's how long it was in it, and that's what really makes the biggest difference. And for us, you know, typically the barrels I get from Heaven Hill are much younger, and we get a lot more flavor out of those barrels.
So, how did that process? Did you just start getting them from all of them, or did you pick certain ones? I mean, how did that process even play?
That was honestly, it was a shot in the dark. I work with Kelvin Cooperage out of Louisville, Kentucky, and basically I get, you know, they give me, you know, what they have, and we just started getting them in, and those are the ones I landed on. So when I have a choice, those are the ones I get. If I don't, I take what I get, because unfortunately sometimes it's hard to get barrels, especially at the size we are. You know, a lot of times they want to put you on a contract where you get 10 barrels a month. I don't fill 10 barrels a month. I'm not that big. So it's harder for guys like me to get, you know, I might need 6. You know, I might need 6 this month and I might need 0 next month. So it just kind of depends, and that's the hard part for us, is they want to put you on a contract and a plan where you're getting so many every month, and we're not really set up for that just yet.
So when you barrel that and then it's time to market it, do you market that as that being the barrel that it is, or is that completely not part of what you guys do?
So when people ask, I always tell them, but I don't put it on the bottles. And I thought about at one point, especially on our single barrel rums, doing a like a little database on our website, like batch 25 is out of this barrel, batch. And I honestly, I should do that. I want to do that. I just haven't gotten there yet. You know, I have a hard enough time keeping up with what I do already.
I mean, I haven't had any of it, but me being a bourbon drinker, I mean, I'm not even a marketing guy, but I feel like if you did that, that might open up a want to grab kind of thing when they know when, oh man, he's got Four Roses barrels.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. That
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it.
So I need you to do two things. I need you to find time to do it.
Yep.
And I need you to put me back some Four Roses and let me know. I will come down and personally get those. But
you got it. You got it. No problem.
Four Roses is one of my favorite. That's an early. Everyone I think drank Wild Turkey. You know, that was an early one, but you get away from it and you get more refined. Not that Wild Turkey's not good.
No.
But I feel like that's what you start to drink, and then you learn more about bourbon. I really fell in love with the Four Roses line early on. A cheap bottle up to their single barrel bottles. They all their batches, all their mash bills, man, they're all fantastic, man. They do a really good job.
I agree with you 100%, honestly. You know, there's a lot of great bourbons out there, and people are falling all over themselves to try to get the next release of any Buffalo Trace product. I'll tell you, the Four Roses single barrel, some of their reserve stuff, I'd drink that over a lot of that stuff, and you can find it, and it's affordable. And I mean, that for me, I think those hands down
you
are
can go
just
to any
easy.
liquor store and find a bottle of single barrel Four Roses.
Yep. And it's
right there on the
just as good, if not better, than most other products out there.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And you know, that hype, the Buffalo Trace hype, I get it. I mean, I follow their little page, and they just released a 4-grain. And me and one of my buddies was talking about the money they made just that day on that release, because they released E.H. Taylor 4-grain and a antique. So right there alone, however many bottles of E.H. Taylor you had, you were selling that same amount of bottles of the antique. So you know, you're knocking down $500,000 in one single day.
I saw the pictures of the lines outside that distillery, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have a line like that outside my distillery.
I thought about
be able to keep up with demand, so maybe I don't. But at the same time, it's like, man, I'd sell it all out today. Let's go.
Hey,
I think you're onto something with that bottled in bond, man. I really think if you really could find the time to do that, man, that'd be a really cool thing. And there might be a bourbon group that would really follows that. That might be something where them not that you need help selling your stuff, because everything.
I always need help selling the stuff.
That's well, but the more bottles you sell is always good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this podcast will help you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I want to get caught up on the comments. We're way behind on them. Daniel Stevens, I need a trip to Daytona. Hell yeah, Daniel. You need
to come on. I'm waiting for you. Come on. You got to bring your wife, though, too, because let me tell you, between your wife and my wife.
Oh, my God. Dude, I want to be there.
That would be, I'd hate to be in the same room with those two, because it could be a real problem.
Dude, that would be very comical. I want to be there.
Somebody asked, do you get your yeast at Firm Solutions? That's old Dr. Heist, isn't it? Dr. Patrick Heist?
Yeah, I've actually gotten some of my yeast from there. Yeah, absolutely. They're great. They're great people over there.
Hell yeah.
Daniel Stevens, I know Jeremy isn't coming back from North Carolina. What the hell? You better come
Listen,
back.
I love North Carolina. I really do. If I get back up there, I actually have some really good friends in Bryson City. And we try to go up to Bryson City a couple times a year. So I don't know how far you are from there, but maybe I'll have to swing in sometime.
You guys need to come up to Maggie Valley. Check it out.
Listen, all these I saw, like, Popcorn Sutton and Hillbilly Jam and all these things. I want to get up there for those. It's hard for me to get out of this place. A lot of times it's just me over here, and it's hard for me to get out of here.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Daniel Stevens, I like Jimmy Red. I do too, Daniel. I like Jimmy Red. Mike Bray,
Yep.
hey guys. Or hey Lisa.
Well, you should like Jimmy Red. Isn't that what you won with?
Yeah. Oshi, drop some over ice and add a little blood orange cider. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. Jason. That's
me.
The Moonshine Show. That's you. What the hell are you making comments, buddy? You comment right here. What the hell?
I get Brandon on
Got
there.
to put that
I
plug
wanna
in
show
there.
Everybody.
Got to put that
So
plug
Brandon,
in there.
Brandon over there at the Moonshine Co. He's doing a great thing for these past master distillers, the recent master distillers. He's putting out shirts, merchandise. If any of you guys out there want to get any kind of merchandise out there, reach out to Brandon and Moonshine Co. He's doing great things. He's a great dude, man. He's doing a good
That's
thing
awesome.
for these guys. Yeah. I hope to see more people use Brandon and get their product out there.
Lisa Day made a comment on your mint. Light soil and moisture. I love growing my own. Talking
Oh,
about,
it must be the mint, huh?
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Lisa Day, her and I do a podcast on the other side of the week, Wednesday night. We talk about herbs and stuff. So she's my co-host.
Nice.
Yeah.
You might have to get you your own little spot just for your mint. Try growing it just by itself.
And I probably need to do that. And if it's not doing well, move it somewhere else. I know that's probably what I need to do.
Just check that pH in the soil. It'll be all right.
What do you know what it should be?
I don't right offhand. I think it's.
All right, I'm sure I could look it up, but I'll do that. I've never checked the pH of a soil, so
I'm sure
there's a tool for that.
Yeah, and I have one. And I'm sure it's around 6 or 7. That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm curious if there are legal rules on dunder for rum. Could you add a dunder made from a different mash? That happens a lot that I know of.
Yeah. You can. The biggest thing is like I said, as long as it's you got your sugarcane base, you should be fine. The dunder thing, you don't see a lot of American distillers doing that. Partially because there's a couple reasons. One, when your inspectors come around, they have no idea what the hell they're looking at there, and they want to shut you down right away because they're like, what the hell is that, and why do you have it?
Right.
So they don't quite understand it is one thing. The other thing is just the possibility of infecting your whole distillery with, some kind of a bacteria. If you're making other products, if you're just making rum, that's one thing, and it's probably all right. But if you're making other products, you don't want everything getting those flavors from the different, bacteria that you're cultivating. That breweries have that same problem doing true sours. Sometimes that lactobacillus and some of those other, those bacteria that they're using to make the sours, all of a sudden it infects their whole brewery and everything they make starts to taste like it. So that's one of the reasons I don't do it. And there's, like I said, there's a couple other reasons that a lot of places don't, and mostly it's because inspectors don't know what they're looking at, and they look at it as like a biohazard. And then it's just a matter of not infecting your whole distillery.
I think I've seen stories of like goat heads and some dunder, so you don't. An inspector might not really like the fact that you might have a goat head in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know how that would fly in America, really. But I will say, we do what we do is we do kind of a sour mash, kind of a setup where we'll take, a portion of our previous run, we'll add it to the mashing of our next run. For consistency, but also to for that same kind of a thing. So.
Oh yeah.
Sean Rigby jumps in and says, "This has been a great show." Yeah, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see Sean all over the place.
That's yeah. Over on
late, of course, but
he's everywhere. Yeah, that's awesome.
He's late everywhere, but he's there.
Katie Taylor says, so has Jeremy talked about his distillation class? No, and I wanted to get onto that because I'm going to join that. I'm going to do that. But oh hey, dude, I gotta do that. The bourbon class.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that was a lot of fun. I honestly didn't anticipate not the results, the hell's the word I'm looking for. I didn't anticipate how many people wanted to do it, to be very honest.
Set me up. Dude,
I was hoping, I told my wife, I was like, if we could get 10 people to sign up to do a class, that'd be great. Well, 45 people later, I'm like, oh, we got to stop. We got to stop this right now because I only have so much time and so much space.
So much space for all the barrels, right?
Yeah, so what we did was I got a hold of a bunch of 5 and 10 gallon brand new charred oak barrels, and I said, you know what, let's do some distilling classes because I just think it'd be fun. And I've had a lot of people ask me like, hey, why don't you, I'd like to learn how to do this. So what I did was we brought people in one Saturday, we got here early Saturday morning, and you did the whole thing. I was basically just directing. I mean, everybody dumped grains. Everybody got a little booklet telling how, why, grain selection, temperatures, any kind of enzymes if we used them, the whole deal. We went through the whole mash, and it took all day. Mashing in, especially for bourbon, sometimes can be an all-day deal.
So that's. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, good.
But so you do a special what? You do a corn grain, of course you do because it's a bourbon. But
yep.
What kind of corn do you use on that?
We just used a yellow dent corn. It wasn't anything crazy special or anything. I just wanted to. What I was looking for was kind of a higher corn mash bill, something a little bit sweeter, something kind of on that E.H. Taylor kind of in that direction kind of a thing. So we did if I remember correct, it's been a few months now, but we did I think it was a 75 corn, 5 rye, that leaves 20, right? 20 malted barley. Is that right? Maybe it was, I think it was 75, 10, 15. I think that's what it was. So we wanted something a little bit more corn. It was just a yellow. I wanted to do something kind of, not basic, but kind of nothing crazy, heirloom corns or anything like that right up front. I kind of wanted to do a more traditional bourbon style mash bill. So we did that to start with.
And while I was there, you were talking about, we were going through the distillation where you got your still set up, you got the barrels out there aging and all that. You were talking about that. In that video that I did earlier, the guys were talking about you got 5 and 10 gallon barrels.
Yep.
You had said on a video, I watched it on your Facebook page, where you had husband and wife do the same mash bill. 2 separate barrels came out tasting totally different.
It was 2 couples. One couple did one each. The husband and wife did their own, and then one couple did one together. Okay. All 3 of them were on the rack. They did the same class, so it was the same blend that they all came up with. On the same section of the rack, all right next to each other. They came in a couple weeks ago, and they all did a sample. They came out tasting completely different. Wow. And that shows the magic of the barrel, right?
Exactly.
Every barrel's different. Every tree is different. The char rate they're all number 3 char, but they might be a little bit different. And each one of those came out completely different.
All right, Mark Morgan. There's another Mark Morgan. You don't know this, Jeremy, but
yep.
I'll share this with you. We call him Shadow.
Okay.
And he and I are good friends, and he lives in Virginia. I'm in Florida. He said, sorry, but tonight's podcast should have a banner saying 3 bald guys with a bottle.
Hey, I'm trying to keep the sheen down. That's all I'm trying to do over here. I'm at the distillery tonight, so it's a little bit hot in here, So trying to keep it. I feel like I'm on the set of Master Distiller again, where I'm just sweating my butt off in here.
Dude, that's what I hear every single person I've ever interviewed, from Still Talking to any of them. They all talk about how goddamn hot it was on that show, man.
I mean, between the being June, first of all, in North Carolina, in an unconditioned warehouse, under all the lights. I mean, I had a rag in my back pocket, and I mean, it seemed like every couple minutes I was just trying to because for me, I got nothing to catch it, so it's just running down my face. So it was no fun.
So
I take that back. It was a lot
would've
of
been in
fun,
my
but that
mash
part
bill.
was just like, man, this is too much.
I'd be turning
We
into a jar
haven't
that
really
tastes like
touched-
salt because of all the sweat.
Oh man, it was crazy. It was
We
it
haven't
was
even
great
really-
though. I'm kind of used to it. I'll tell you what, the two guys I was, Vinny and Tyga, two guys I was up against, great dudes. Tyga's from California, Vinny's from New York. Those guys weren't used to the heat like that. It was a little bit different for those guys. So I'm in Florida, man. It's hot here all the time. But even for me, it was a little hot in there under all those lights.
Sure.
So we haven't really talked much about your master distiller time, man.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
that
you.
something that you had tried a while to get on, or was it a quick process for you, or how did that whole thing work? What even sparked that up on that?
So I kind of have a different way of getting on there than most people. They reached out to me before the very first season ever aired.
Cool.
I got an email from them. They reached out to me, and honestly, I didn't respond. I deleted it. I said, absolutely not. I am not doing that. Because to be honest, in my head, I've seen too many Gordon Ramsay shows where he comes on and just comes in and destroys your place. And I'm like, I've got way too much money invested in this, too much time and energy, and I don't need some idiot coming in here and just tearing it apart. So I said, absolutely not.
It was after your distillery had started that you got the invite.
Just after, yeah. It was just after we had started, because it was, it was either just after or just before we opened, something. But we had announced that we were doing the thing.
Now, were they trying to get you on for a rum episode or just an episode in general? Did they want you for anything specific?
So now that was the very first season. So I said I deleted it, didn't talk to him. I have another buddy of mine, a buddy who's a super fan of everything Moonshiners that comes into the distillery, and he saw a casting call for Master Distiller, and he brought it in. And again, I said, nope, I'm good. I don't need, I think it's cool, but I don't need to be on there. My wife happened to be here though that day, and he brought it to her, and she signed me up behind my back. So she signed me up and didn't tell me until after it was already in. And then we didn't hear anything for a while. So, it was a few months went by and I didn't hear anything. So I was like, all right, well, I don't have to worry about it. And then all of a sudden I got a call from one of the producers. And again, they said, hey, it's going to be background checks and 5 or 6 different Zoom interviews, and we're going to have to send them to here and there and everywhere else. I did one interview. She sent me the background check form. I turned it in, and I didn't hear from her again. I was like, all right, well, I guess that didn't go as well as I thought. And like out of the blue, I was in Atlanta. We took the kids to Atlanta to the aquarium up there, and I think it was like 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. One of the producer called me back. She said, okay, we chose you to be on the show. Can you be on a plane on Tuesday? And I was like, what? It was nothing, and then all of a sudden, let's go. So it was, and again, it wasn't me that signed up for it. It was my wife. So she must have did a good job with it.
Yeah.
So
We hear
what
that
made
a
you
lot.
decide you were so hard pressed on not wanting to do it? So behind your back when she did it, you said, fuck it, let's do it?
Yeah.
Pretty much, or?
Kinda, honestly. Here's what I did. After she had signed me up, I called a buddy of mine his name's Brian. He's up in New York. He actually was on the previous season. I didn't know it. After she signed me up, I was like, all right, I better start watching this again. So I was watching it again, and all of a sudden, my buddy from New York pops up, and I'm like, I didn't even know he was on there. So I called him up immediately and said, hey, my wife signed me up for this. If I get the call, should I do it? And he won his episode as well. And he said, look, I may be a little biased. It was a great experience. It's done a lot for us. I may have a different opinion if we didn't win, but at the same time, it's been great. And then after I talked to him, I'm pretty good friends with Kelly Williamson from Moonshiners. I called him up as well and said, hey, Jenny signed me up for this thing. If I get the call, should I do it? And he said, 100%, absolutely, do it. It wasn't even a question for him. He said, you need to be on the show. So after they kind of, convinced me, I said, okay, I'm good, let's do it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Speaking of Kelly, when I went up to visit you, he had just left when I got there.
Yes, yeah, you're right. He had literally
So
maybe 10 minutes beforehand had just left. Yep.
had I not stopped the shit, before I
Yeah.
got there, I'd have hooked up with Kelly. But you know, hey, it is what it is. But I
Yeah,
didn't-
he's a good dude. We met quite a few years ago now. We do all the spirits for Jeep Beach. It's a big Jeep rally here in town.
Glad
It's
you
a big
brought that
charity event, so we make all the spirits for them. And we got introduced through Jeep Beach. He comes down for he's a big Jeeper, and he comes down for all the different Jeep events.
Cool.
And we got introduced and became really good friends. We do a collaboration for Jeep Beach. We did an orange creamsicle moonshine, the two of us, for Jeep Beach as well. So yeah, I mean, I actually put hookups in the back of the distillery, power and water and sewer back there, so he can pull his RV in and he can hang out here for the week if he has to.
Well, yeah.
So
Hey, just so you know, so I text him and let him know, hey man, I just missed you. Sorry I missed you. He said, yeah man, sorry I missed you. Blah blah. So I sent him an invite to come on tonight. Well, he
Oh, nice.
So hey, you might want to text him. Hey man, get your ass in here.
yeah, right. Well, unfortunately, I'm using my phone to do this, so I don't have a computer that has a camera on it. That's how technologically advanced I am.
It's all good.
So, Mark, you got to hang out with Shua for a little bit, you said?
Yeah, she was there. Can you
Please tell me while you guys were together, you guys thumb wrestled. Please tell me, because I mean, you guys is both your hands. Mark, you got these big old and these little, and Mark, and please tell me you guys thumb wrestled, man.
Joey,
please tell me.
Shua's got smaller hands than me, okay?
Ain't no way.
No, yeah, we're actually doing a little project together over here. So he happened to be here at the same time, so it actually worked out pretty good. He's a good dude as well, man. Like that's another one that I don't know if it was after the show or maybe it was before. No, you know what it was? We had started, my wife, we started doing some TikTok videos, and a couple of them just blew up. And a couple people were tagging him in and were like, hey, is this BS or what? And he was like, no, he's saying it right. So so we ended up contacting each other, and he was happened to be driving through, and we had met a few times, and he's a good dude. I liked him a lot.
Shua's a great guy. I talked to him a lot on TikTok. He comes on my lives on TikTok a lot. I reached out to him, and he told me he was going to be in Daytona. I was like, dude, we got to hook up. That's what I told him. So.
Yeah, good guy. We got a project we're working on over here, something a little different.
Can you elaborate on that or no?
I don't know if I can or not. It's more his project than mine, so I don't want to go too far into it. But
I did reach out to him as well. He hasn't responded back to me, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. No, we've got something we're working on over here that's something different than we've ever done over here, and he's wanting to get something out there, so we're gonna try to do it for him.
Well, maybe if we're able to, maybe we'll get both of you back on, and you guys will talk about it.
Actually, that'd be a great idea, because it's a cool project, and I'm excited about it. I know he's excited about it, and I think it's going to be cool at the end. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, if it's Moonshine and Shua involved, I'm sure it's gonna be cool. Especially
He's like I said, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oshi says, do you shelf your silver rum at all?
You mean do we age it or anything like that? Is that what we're asking?
I'm not sure, but obviously he shelves it because I got some.
Yeah, but it's on the shelf. It's on the shelf right here, and we also it's available online as well. If you go to our website, you can order it online. If you're asking if we age it at all, no, we don't. It comes off the still. I do filter it. I cold filter that one. We chill it down and we filter it through activated coconut charcoal. That's the only thing I do to it, and then we proof it down and go straight into a bottle. There's no additives whatsoever. So if that's the question, then no, we don't do that. But if you're asking if it's available, absolutely. You can go to our website, copperbottomspirits.com, and there's an order now button on there, and you can have it shipped straight to your house in most states. I think it's 45 states now.
I saw Jenny make the statement today on Facebook. It's activated coconut charcoal.
Yeah. She has no idea. She likes to make it sounds really, really fancy.
Yeah. And the orange you guys do. I started to say I have the orange you guys do. Okay.
Oh yeah, the orange jamsicle. So yeah, it's good, man. Let me tell you, I'm not typically a flavored guy for most of anything, but that one, let me tell you, put it on a little vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
It's good.
That's what
really
I do
good.
on root beer.
Oh yeah, I can see that too, actually.
Root beer float. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
These days, if you got to see Shula, that's cool. Yeah, I did. Shula's a great guy. I love Shula.
Yeah.
Anything Shula. Dude, that guy's lost a shitload of weight too.
Yeah, let me tell you, between this time and the first time I met him, it was a little shock. I was like, man, what? You left something behind, I think.
Dude, are you still here? Are you here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, she says shelf-like age, but not in barrel.
Oh no, yeah, no, we don't. Well, I take that back. I mean, we do have it. I continually make it, and then we store it in a tank. But there's no intention behind that. It's in a tank until I need it.
As needed.
Yeah, it's not like that we're if I need it that day, I'll pull it that day. But we do store it in case I get a big order, I need it right away. But no, I don't do any shelving or any storing or any kind of. There's no intention behind it. Let's put it that way.
Well, we talk about how busy you are. You and your wife, you guys are huge in the community. You're into everything. Dude, every time I see you or see anything post on Facebook, you guys got so much shit going on. It's unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you, we honestly don't post a whole lot anymore because she's got so much going on, and she's the one who does it. So we don't even post as much as we used to.
She's even starting to get political. So hey.
Oh man, let me tell you, she's got her own business going as well, and she's absolutely killing it in it. So I don't, at the end of the day, I don't falter for not being on here as much as she used to be, because I mean, she is. You think I'm busy? She's even more busy. I mean, it's unbelievable the stuff that she's doing, and I'm super proud of her. She does a really good job.
That's awesome. That's great. And when I see you guys together, you guys mesh so well, and I love seeing that. That is awesome. You don't see that often with a husband and wife. Well,
at the end of the day, I got to be a little bit. I got to be that balance, because man, if you can't have two of those, like I said, if we get the wives together, man, it could be a real issue over here.
There's one thing that I want to bring up, and I laughed about it for days.
Yeah.
I got to bring it up. When she did a video of she was looking for some vodka.
Oh God!
And she found a bottle tucked away way back in the cabinet.
So yeah, we were doing, what was it? Oh no, so we do occasionally, like usually at the end of every month, we'll do a little cocktail class, like a little DIY cocktail class here, and she runs it. It's her deal. So she wanted to try some vodka cocktails on me, and she asked me. She said, "Hey, do we have any vodka?" I said, "No." I said, "We're actually out of vodka." I said, "If you want, I can run back to the distillery, get some, whatever." And she said, "No, I'll just do it tomorrow, whatever." And then she comes back and she hands me this drink. She's like, "Oh, I found some." I was like, what are you talking about? And sure enough, she pulled out a bottle of vodka. It was not only from the first batch that we ever did, it was the first bottle of vodka I ever produced. So I saved that bottle, I put it in the back of the cabinet, and we're making vodka. I don't even know what it was now. So, but at the end of the day, I'm glad it was good. So I'm glad it was still good. It still held up. But now what we do is if something good happens or whatever, we'll pull that bottle out. We take a little shot of it. So it didn't go to waste. But I'm like, you couldn't find any other bottle. I mean, just literally the very first bottle I ever made, she had to open up.
Bottle of vodka, and she found it. She didn't know it was the first. No,
she found it.
Found it. Hey, so she poured drinks, and Jeremy's up there going, "Really?"
It has a big #1 on the front of it. I don't know how she missed that, but whatever.
Hey. She thought that was the first bottle she needed to use.
That's the first bottle tonight.
Yep.
Oh man!
But no, it's one of those things. It's no big deal. I'm the type of guy though. I don't. That's the only bottle I really have saved, kind of thing. I say that I've got some other bottles that we kind of save. Like the first bottle of rum I ever made, I have that saved as well. Cool. But I'm the guy that I don't buy things to collect. If I buy it or if I've got it, it's there to drink.
Unlike me,
so at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Let's just drink it. So.
Well, let's be honest. You said you did all that experimentation with those yeasts. I'm sure along that way you kept, oh man, this is good. Oh man, this is, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that happens. You're going to keep the special ones. Yeah.
It's funny because I still have some of those original test bottles.
Yeah.
And I've cracked a few of them open. I'm like, man, I'm glad we didn't use this one. This one's really good. Why didn't we use it? So
Yeah,
I recently I did that. I found some of the original test bottles that we had done from, I mean, way back. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to go back and see how it's changed over time.
Yeah, your progression. Yeah, kind of get a taste of your own progression.
Yeah.
You know, we brought up earlier, Jeremy, and how busy you are and all the things you got going on. I want to talk a minute about the Jeep Beach segment.
Yeah.
Where you guys are involved in it. You've become a big part of the Jeep Beach. You've got the Jeep Beach silver rum, coconut rum, single barrel, you got a whole lineup.
Yeah.
For folks who don't know, what is the Jeep Beach all about, and how did Copper Bottom become such a big part of it?
So I'll tell you what, of all the events because Daytona is a big event town, right? I mean, we have the 500 and Bike Week and Biketoberfest, and there's races and all kinds of stuff. Like there's spring break. We've got everything going on here. But of all the events that happen in this town, Jeep Beach is by far my favorite. The biggest reason is it's a giant charity event. It's a big nonprofit, and all the money they raise not just goes back to charity, but it goes back to local charities. So they benefit so many local charities in town, and they contacted us, and we got to know the organizers because they're big around town too, and we bump into each other all over the place at different events and things, and they contacted us. I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019, right after Jeep Beach that year. They contacted us and said, hey, we'd really like to do a lineup of spirits for the charity. And we said, absolutely, we can make that happen. And we started working on it, and then 2020 happened. So 2020 happened, so that year they didn't do it, but we got everything lined up for 2021, and it was a huge hit. Well, we released a couple of spirits that year, and honestly, over the past 5-6 years we've been doing it with them, we've raised a little bit, just us. We've raised a little over $50,000 that we've donated back to the charities, and them as an organization. I mean, there's years that they pull in $650,000, $700,000 a year that goes back to local charities around town, and it's a great organization, and it's a great organization. But not only that, the people who come to the event are amazing. Right. Bike Week, sometimes you'll get some little riffs here and there, and you always get some assholes, right? And it's just, listen, it's the same with Jeep Beach too. There's always that one or two bad apples, but at the end of the day, I mean, everybody's here to have a good time. It's every demographic. It's young, old, black, white, it's everybody, and everybody's here just to have a good time and raise money for charity. And it's a great event, and I'm super excited that we've been able to be a part of it for so long.
Hell yeah!
And I know Kelly's a big part of it too. So.
Yeah. He came on about the same. Actually, I think he came on the year after we did with them, and he's been a big part of it as well. And he's the big celebrity around here. So when he comes in for that, and not even just that, he's such a super down-to-earth guy. He builds the obstacle course every year, or he helps build the obstacle course every year for Jeep Beach. What's that?
Did you drive your Jeep through that?
Oh yeah. So last year he was building the course, and they try to have every type of Jeep to go over the course before they open it up to the public. And he had his Jeep out there. They had a 2-door Jeep. They didn't have a Gladiator though, and that's what I have. So he asked me, he said, hey, you want to take it for a spin out there? And I just told him, I said, man, just don't tear it up. I don't have the time or the money to fix this thing. So
my vehicle.
Exactly. I dailied this thing. I can't have this thing beat up. So he took me around there, and it was a lot of fun. We posted some videos of it, and the kids were in the back screaming the whole time. It was a great time.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Well, it sounds like you guys do an awesome thing down there, and anytime the word charity's involved, man, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is a good time, and it's great when you can have a lot of fun and raise money for charity as well.
Raise money.
It's
That's what
fun.
it's all about, man. Yep, doing good things.
And speaking of Daytona and the charity stuff and whatnot, I noticed searching through your Facebook feeds and whatnot, I saw Copper Bottom sitting in winner's circle with the race. You want to touch on that a little bit?
What was that? I missed that.
There was a race I saw on your Facebook feed where there's a car and the winner's circle for the race.
Yeah. So we were fortunate enough. I've got a lot of friends that work for NASCAR or NASCAR people, and
Right there at Daytona.
no, yeah, exactly. But yeah, we and that was on a short track. So there was a up at New Smyrna Speedway down here. They have a track down there,
Yeah.
and there's a couple drivers, and they were looking to do some things, and they said, hey, we want to put your logo on the side of the car. They weren't looking for a whole lot. I'm like, look here, I can give you some booze for the winner circle or something if you guys make it there. And sure enough, like as soon as they put us on there, they won the race. So it was kind of almost like a lucky thing. They're like, we're going to keep putting it on there until we lose.
Silver Rum coming your way.
Yeah, so
that's
it was great. It was one of those things that, that's one crazy thing is I've had some of these race teams contact us, and the amount of money they want to sponsor a car, I'm like, I don't know who you think we are, how big you think we are, but we are not that. But it was cool to be able to see our logo on the side of a car and actually make it into the winner's circle. It was kind of cool, especially in Daytona, right? It's where racing is,
I know a company that I used to work for, they did a sponsor, and it was like 50 grand just to put their logo on the car. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, we had one. They wanted two races. They wanted Daytona and Homestead, the two Florida races, and they wanted us to be the main sponsor on the car. And it was, gosh, I want to think it was like 120 something thousand bucks or something. And I'm like, man, I promise you, that's not me. I'm not that guy. And also, I don't know who you are. It wasn't like he was, Jeff Gordon or something either,
No, I had a buddy of mine that used to race out at New Smyrna, so that's cool.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, anything you want to add to let our viewers know that what's coming up with you, or you got?
No, it seems like we covered quite a bit, but no, honestly, if anybody's interested in coming down and seeing us, I'm always here. So if you want to come down and say hi, taste some stuff, I'm the guy if the doors are open, I'm typically here, except for the day you were here, obviously. But,
You knew you were coming.
I mean, we're in Holly Hill, Florida. We're open, Wednesday through Saturday, typically, sometimes even more.
I think Debbie realized I was coming, so we got.
Yeah, exactly. I got to get out of here. But no, I mean, and if you want to try any of our stuff, it is available online. You can go to our website. Like I said, copperbottomspirits.com. You can go on there and order it online, and it'll ship it straight to your house.
You ship to like 45 states, you said?
I think so. Yeah, there's only a few that we don't ship to. It's like Hawaii, Alaska, Utah, Michigan, and Alabama. I think pretty much everybody else we
I
ship
had to say Ohio because that's where Joey's at. So.
Yeah.
Ohio, we can't get a lot of stuff. It's probably on the list.
In Kentucky,
Yeah.
Right.
Most places can get it though. I was pretty surprised at some of them.
Hell yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
we appreciate you coming on, Jeremy. We really do.
I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun talking to you guys.
Jeremy,
I know I've enjoyed listening to you talk, and I've learned a lot about everything you guys do.
Hell,
And
I just
I know
made it
now
up.
I know
It'll be if you ask me again next week, it'll be something different.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
I got to ask you, these are going to be just some stupid questions, and you probably already answered half of them, but I have a list of questions I want to ask you.
No problem.
Rapid fire questions. Pot
Yeah.
still or column still?
What's that?
Pot still or column still?
Ooh, I mean, for us, it's got to be, I'll pot still. Let's go pot still.
All right. Sweet mash or sour mash?
I like sour.
All right. Florida sugar cane or imported?
Ooh, I like a combination, honestly. We do a little combination of both.
All right. This is personal.
Okay.
Neat or cocktail?
Neat. All day.
Here you go. I love
Neat.
it. Love it. All right. One tool in your distillery you couldn't live without.
Oh, man. I mean, the still, right? If I didn't have the still, I mean, other than the
that's
still,
kind of an obvious one. So we got
yeah. Other than the still, honestly, one thing that I probably use more than anything is our little Anton Par hydrometer. Man, I use the heck out of that thing, and it's great for quick checks, and it's saved a lot of time. So that's probably, it's expensive, but for us, it was well worth it.
You know, I've talked to a lot of distilleries, and they all say the same thing.
Man, the hydrometers are great, and that's kind of the gold standard, and I have a whole rack of them. But man, the time it saves to just get in there, hit a button, and get a reading, it's not even, you can't even explain it, how much time it saves.
I hear the same thing from all the distillers I visit, so you're right there with everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
One last question on the rapid fire. One thing you wish every home distiller would stop doing?
Ooh, honestly, and this is because honestly, I want to see it grow. I really want to see. I think you should be able to home distill everywhere, and the one thing that's going to make that not a thing is safety. I wish everybody had pressure relief valves and just the proper safety equipment on these things. Because let me tell you, I mean, and I've seen it here. We had a distiller just a few weeks ago die here because his still blew up. And
I saw that story.
It's a terrible thing, and it's that kind of thing that will just put a dead stop to this hobby growing. Yep. So man, please just use the proper safety equipment. And if you don't know, ask somebody, because man, you can seriously hurt yourself. And it wasn't a very big still he was working on that it killed him.
Yep. I remember reading about that, and yeah, totally. And you're totally right, Jeremy, as far as, you know, things like that happening are going to put a halt to this legalizing. So you're absolutely.
It'll kill it in a second, and that's the one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, first of all, but also, man, if there's any chance of there really being a resurgence of home distilling and being able to do it legally at home, you got to do it right, because if you don't, it'll stop it tomorrow. And
I think that
you get a few people, blowing up stills and hurting yourself's one thing, but you start hurting other people, they'll put a stop to it so quick. And man, I would rather not see that happen. I'd rather see this thing grow. So if we just please use the proper safety equipment.
Absolutely.
I think I saw a news video of that guy that blew that still up, and it got pretty bad. There was it looked like his leg, but I don't think it was his leg. Dude, it was like his shoe was laying out and way out. But I think it actually injured some bystanders.
It did.
The glass shattered, and it actually injured some people. So that is very unfortunate that happened. So
yeah, luckily I don't think those guys were injured too bad. But him operating it killed him. I think it burned him 95% of his body, and a week or so later he ended up dying. And it's just a super sad situation. And that's a guy who does it for a living. So I mean, anybody can make those mistakes, and it could happen to anybody. So please just have that proper equipment on there, because it not only will it keep the industry going or the hobby going, but man, it might save your life too, and that's more important than anything.
Not just yours, but everybody else's. And from what I understand, that guy was really big in the whole community around him, and he was good of it. And that sucks that he's gone now. And yeah, dude, it sucks for the whole community.
It really does, and we all really felt for him, because honestly, at first we were hoping he was going to pull through and make it, because like I said, he lived for a week or so, but man, it just it's too bad. And he was relatively new to the industry. I don't remember exactly how long he was open. I only had a chance to meet the guy once, but man, when I read that, I just felt really bad for not just his family and everybody else, but the community around. Because when you open one of these places, you get a lot of regulars that come in that become part of your business and part of your family almost. I mean, we have a group of customers here that legitimately are family now. Sure. And man, I feel bad for all of them, because that's a big loss.
Yeah, that's huge. And I'll just real quick, Joey, I saw that video. It was a news release where it was on the news where they dude, I said the same thing. I had to go back and rewatch it. It looked like a leg with a shoe on it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Are they really showing that?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I feel like I saw that one too. I don't know if that's what that was, but I mean, I did see the
Dude.
head of his still out in the parking lot, and
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a huge still either, and it blew it, you know, set the building on fire, killed him, and sent parts of his still out into the parking lot, injuring a couple people.
Right.
So it can be dangerous, man. You just gotta be safe about it. That's my whole thing is I think everybody should be able to do it. If you want to do it, you should. But man, it'll put a halt to it real quick if people start getting injured.
To add to that, Jeremy, I have a personal friend that's in Washington. I won't say his name. He walked away from his still. Walked away, from it, came back, and the place is on fire.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to maintain and watch that still. You have to, if you're hosting still, stay with it. Don't walk away.
Yeah.
Things that happen at a heartbeat. So
it doesn't take long, man. It doesn't take long at all. And honestly, I hesitate to say this but even that was the one thing I would say about Master Distiller that was a little bit concerning was, you know, those stills don't have any of that stuff, and it is a little concerning because, you know, as long as they've been running that show and as many people have been running those stills, you know, it could easily happen there too, and I hope it never does. But you know, that was the first time for me. That's the first time I'd run a still without any of that stuff, and it was a little concerning for me as well. So just be careful is all I have to say.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I appreciate and that was a great answer to the question. I appreciate the answer. Appreciate you being on tonight, Jeremy. It's been great. Looking forward to coming up and see you again soon. You're only an hour and a half away from me, so.
Come on.
Yeah. I want to come up when you guys do that next event in October. I want to be there for that. So.
Yeah, our anniversary event is going to be October 3rd. So
Yeah.
October 3rd is our anniversary. If you happen to be around or can make it down, it's good. It should be a good time.
I'll definitely check my calendar and make sure I'm not working. But if I'm not, I'll definitely be there, sir. So.
Yep, that'll be a Saturday, October 3rd.
My
Might have it.
will swing, so who knows?
Yeah, I got you. If you can swing on down, it'll be a lot of fun.
I definitely will. Uncle Joey, thanks for being here, buddy. I love you, buddy, and
I appreciate you,
I
Mark.
love having you being a co-host, man. Or a host.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even like calling you a co-host because, dude, you host this more than I do. So I appreciate you, man. You're a great guy.
We do this together, man. We got a good thing going. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
We do, and it's going to get better and better. And we got a lot of good guests coming up in the future, so you guys stay tuned. This is instead of calling it an episode, Uncle Joey and I like to call it the jar. So welcome to jar number 8, and next time we're on, it'll be jar number 9. I think we have Still Talking coming on, don't we?
I think it's Sean. I think you got Sean coming on.
Sean Rigsby, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got old Master Distiller Sean Rigsby.
Well, yeah,
That's awesome.
Looking forward to that. He's going to be talking about his classes and stuff. So yeah, it'll be great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Jeremy, it was good talking to you, man. I look forward to trying some more of your stuff, and I can't wait to see what you guys keep on doing down there, man. Keep doing it.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun for me too. So I appreciate talking to you guys, and anytime I'm here.
Hell yeah. Thank you, brother.
All right, y'all. That's going to do it for this jar. Big thanks to Jeremy Craig and Copper Bottom Distillery for bringing the Florida Fire and Silver Rum. I'm a big fan of it. I like it. Remember, a good spirit ain't one that you own. Top dollar for. It's the hands that built it, the respect, and the patience that brings it to the run. We talked about that earlier. It's patience. That's the whole big thing. So keep the mask warm, keep the temper honest, and keep the spirits high. Shine safe, shine smart. Uncle Moonshine here.
Well, Joey, shine on.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys on the next jar. Don't go anywhere, Jeremy. I'm going to end this live. Stick around for a minute, Jeremy.
You got it.
All right, buddy.
Let's see how long it takes Mark to end this live.